Hello, everyone. Welcome to Comics and Cosplay podcast. I'm Brittany Johnston, joined here with expert craftsman and costumer Jesse Lodgers.
Hey everyone.
So, to start off, could you tell us all a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So I've started a costuming and prop business here in Portland, Oregon, and I was recently picked up for Syfy show Heroes of Cosplay. It's a docu-series that follows a bunch of very famous cosplayers along on our process on how we build costumes and go to cons and compete in the competitions and that whole thing. So a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm very excited for that. That's starting on the 13th.
Yeah, that's actually this Tuesday on the Syfy channel, Space, if you're up in
Ooh,
Canada.
Canada.
So yeah, that shows Tuesday, August 13th at 10:30 at night.
I should all tune into that. I'm very excited for it. So, how did you first get into costuming?
It's a really tough question. I've been costuming, since I was tiny. I mean, ever since I knew of the existence of Halloween, it was Ghostbusters costumes and Ninja Turtles and all sorts of crazy stuff, and it went on from Halloween. It was no longer just Halloween. It was like, now I'm going to do this on a random Monday. Like I'm just going to be in costume all day. Deal with it.
That's amazing. Did you ever go to school in costume or?
I did, in fact, and it didn't really start until probably high school, and when I started just wearing random costumes on different days to school, and that kind of caught on. Like we didn't really get in trouble for it. And a lot of us just started doing it. It was a lot of fun.
That's amazing. When you're starting a new costume, what is the creative process like for you?
It really depends on the costume. It could be anything from we're watching a movie or something like that, or we're just out to dinner and this idea will pop into my head, or we'll start talking about something like, oh, I want to build this costume, and I'll just grab a cocktail napkin or something and just start drawing ideas and sketching down like, oh, it needs to have this and it's got to have this, and it'll just start flowing from there. And depending on where it is. What genre it is. So if it's something like steampunky or something like that, I'll watch some Jules Verne or some 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea or stuff like that. Kind of get into that mentality.
And where do you draw a lot of your inspiration from? You mentioned that you dressed as Ninja Turtles and steampunk. Anything else?
My favorite area is very post-apocalyptic stuff. So like the Fallout series. And anything that's very, wasteland, very post-apocalyptic. I love that the most. Second to that is Star Wars, definitely. So there's a lot of realism, in the original trilogy of Star Wars that I feel is like kind of missed in movies today. So it's that kind of idea behind everything that I really like to do.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember reading in some interviews with you that realism is really important in the creation of your costumes. How do you achieve those real life effects in your costume?
I try to make it out of whatever materials I'm working with. Like if something looks like it has to be out of leather, I will make it out of leather. Like to hell with the price. Like I'll make it out of leather just to make sure it looks correct. And then it's a step further that you have to go. It's not like you can't just make the thing and go, okay, there, it's done. You have to add in like how would this wear? Like if it's a pair of gauntlets or something, they're going to get bruised and abrased, and they're gonna wear in, and things on them are going to look a little deteriorated. It's adding that little step to make it look like it's actually lived in and used by the character.
Oh, that's very admirable to getting the real look down.
Thank you.
I think that's really cool. And with the Star Wars, I know that you have a stormtrooper costume, and you've been a part of the 501st Legion and done charity work. Could you tell our readers and listeners a little bit about that?
Yeah, the 501st is kind of where I started cutting my teeth in professional costuming. If you don't know about it, the 501st is it's called Vader's Fist. It's the Stormtrooper Legion all across the world. So you can sign up with them, and you have to have a costume that looks like you walked out of the movies with it. And you get approved, and you get your own stormtrooper number that is yours for life. And then you join your local garrison. So we have one here in Portland called Cloud City Garrison. They're a wonderful group of people, and we do charity work. So like we go visit sick kids at the hospital. We'll go do bell ringing stuff for the Salvation Army, and collect donations and things like that. All for charity. All of it's in the name of charity. People can hire us out, but we ask that they write a check to a donation, a charity of their choice, basically. And we end up raising a lot of money over the year, just to make sure that we don't take money ourselves. It's all about charity. So we volunteer our time and our costumes and everything else like that just for charity. And it was really, really awesome to see that side of costuming.
Jumping from charity work to a different side of cosplay, what was the first geek or fan convention you attended? And can you share with us what your first con experience was like?
Oh boy. I don't really know what I've been going to so many cons. It's really tough to figure out. I remember back in middle school and stuff, my friend drugged me to a comic book convention here in Portland, and that was kind of my first bit. But it was it was a really small. It was kind of like a swap meet, but it was just a bunch of geeks and a bunch of nerds in this area. There wasn't a lot of costuming going on, but it was kind of like that first idea of like, oh, so there's a whole culture. I don't have to just be the weird kid that collects comic books and plays video games all day. Like there's a lot of us out here. Oh, this is cool.
In conventions, when you with more costuming conventions, had you participated in a masquerade or costume competition before the show Heroes of Cosplay?
I did. I participated in one just on a whim. And it was at Oricon. It's Oregon Science Fiction Science Fiction Con, and that's actually coming up here in November. And I'm going to be going back, but I ended up winning that costume competition there, and I got free tickets to come back the following year, which was kind of awesome.
That's so awesome! Congratulations.
Thank you.
And with the competition side of cosplay, what is the difference for you between competition and then making costumes for the sake of making costumes?
That's a really good question. The only reason that I like to participate in the costume competitions itself is I'm trying to make props and make armor and make costumes, outfits really for a living. And the costume competitions are a good time for me personally to get up on stage, and it's like all eyes on you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you get that immediate reaction from the entire crowd rather than just wandering around the con all day. And some people are like, oh hey, that's a nice costume, or maybe even afraid to talk to you just because you're a person in costume. I don't know why, or they don't know what you're from. Yeah. But when you go up on stage, it's like the entire audience and the judges and everybody there is there to look at you at that moment. So you get all of that instant reaction of like how well you think you've done on your costume.
Yeah, that's a very good way to get feedback. When you're saying about making a career out of costuming, when did you start making commissioned costumes and props?
I started making costumes and props probably about 3 years ago, maybe a little bit more. I just officially, launched my business this year, and it's getting off the ground. Mm-hmm. So it's still a work in progress. Uh-huh. But yeah, I've been building them for a while, and I guess it hadn't been anything substantial for the past 3 years or so. It's just kind of somebody would go, oh hey, can you make me one of those too? Because that looks really awesome. So it was kind of all word of mouth sort of. And it would just be, small commission work. But I decided that I wanted to take it live and make it a big deal.
Wow, nice. And I guess Heroes of Cosplay is a good avenue for your commission work as well.
I'd like to hope
hopefully.
So.
And with Heroes of Cosplay, how did you get involved in that?
I was dressed up at Portland Wizard World. So I have a troupe that comes with me. You know, I do pirate reenactments and everything else like that. So we have a whole group of costumers basically that we're surrounded by, and we had decided that Friday was post-apocalyptic day, and Saturday would be Star Wars Day, and Sunday would be Steampunk Day. So we would have all group costumes showing up. But we showed up Friday all post-apocalyptic and geared out for Friday evening at Wizard World, and Syfy was there, and they snagged us for an interview right at the end of the day, and we're like, hey, can we put you on the show?
Wow.
It was just right then and there. It was kind of we need you for the show. You would be awesome. Let's what can we do? And it all kind of worked out that way. So it's, I guess, being at the right place at the right time in the right outfit.
Oh, that is awesome. Now, in Heroes of Cosplay, you're the only male cast member, and in the cosplay community, there seems to be an underrepresentation of male cosplayers in media. Do you think having a male cast member on a televised docu-series on cosplay will maybe start opening up trends towards more recognition of male cosplayers?
I really hope I did the males justice. There's a lot of really, really talented male cosplayers out there, and you're absolutely right. I feel that they're kind of shunned as far as social media goes, and I'm not really sure why. I met a lot of people that are really, really entertaining. They're awesome people, on both sides of the of the gender scheme. But yeah, it seems very heavy in the social media that it's women that get all the attention. I really hope that this does kind of bring attention of like, yeah, we do a lot of good work. We build a lot of armor, and I guess we're more geared into that sort of thing, and we're more hidden throughout cons and stuff like that. But it's the same amount of struggle and the same amount of strife. Like, we have to find the same outfits that'll fit our body types, and we have to go through the same painstaking process of making the costume and making it fit us and making it look right. It's no different.
No, that's very true. I definitely noticed at conventions that, like, I see a fair amount of male cosplayers, but then I go on the internet, and if you were new to cosplay or didn't know what it was, you would think that there are almost only women involved in costuming.
Yeah, it's kind of biased that way.
Yeah, it's very skewed. What was it like being a cast member on a show with a very strong female costumers? Very talented. I don't know why I said strong. That might be the wrong word.
I think you're right. They're all kind of brawny. No, they were. It was awesome. They're all like stupid internet famous, right? I mean, they're really, really popular cosplayers because they do really, really good work. It was completely humbling to be able to work beside them, just kind of coming out of nowhere and be like, oh well, yeah, I'm the guy on the show, working with all these great female artists. It was completely humbling. It was awesome just to be able to just work with them, and they were totally like nonchalant about everything. They're like, oh hey, what's up, man? Like, just didn't even bat an eye. Not like, oh, we're better than you or anything else like that. They were just totally welcoming. Like, hey, what's going on? Awesome. What are you working on?
Did you make new friends through your experience on the show?
Definitely. We all keep in touch pretty well, and we're all excited for the release of the show. So constant banter back and forth about, oh God, what are they going to do to us on the show?
Oh my goodness, yeah. What will they do with the editing? And I saw on Facebook you're having an event for watching the.
Yeah, we decided that we actually ended up renting out a restaurant just because we had a following that was big enough that we were like, well, can we reserve like 58 seats or something? And they went, you can just kind of have the restaurant, guys. Like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, we're having a party for the event, and so it's actually starting at 9:30, and we're watching Face Off, the premiere Face Off, and then we're gonna watch the season premiere of our show, and have some drinks, have some food, have some laughs.
Yep, all the festivities.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my first run of like prints. I've never done any prints before, so that'll be kind of exciting. So I'm bringing a limited edition number of prints, and I'll be able to sign those from people and everything else that show up for it.
Cosplay prints, I just love looking through cosplayers' cosplay prints and being like, I want to buy all of them.
I guess like cosplay prints are one of the things, like I've always seen them, and I've never purchased a cosplay print from anybody else, despite how much I love their work. Like, I don't know what I would do with it. Do I frame it, put it on my wall, or do you just have a binder that you put a bunch of cosplay prints in? I guess I don't know what
like Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd probably want to get framed. Final question, fun question.
Oh.
Pirates versus ninjas, and why?
Oh, this is a really, really easy question to answer. Ninjas have nothing on pirates. Pirates get treasure, they get rum, and they get wenches.
That's true.
Ninjas don't get any of those.
Yeah. Yeah, ninjas. Yeah, they have a pretty serious life.
It's all business with ninjas. It's all fun and games and everything else with pirates. So.
But who would win in a fight? A battle. Let's say like a battle of a bunch of ninjas versus pirates.
It depends. Are they out at sea or in port? Yeah, or if they're even close.
Oh, that's a good question.
The pirate ship always wins.
That's true. Maybe like a in between. I don't know if there's an in between.
I don't know. I'm pretty sure ninjas get seasick too.
They probably do. Yeah, I feel like they just do everything on land. Yeah, I guess. So are we going to give that a win to pirates?
I would say definitely a win to pirates.
Okay. Well, it was great having you on the podcast.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. All right. And, where can we find you on the interwebs?
On the interwebs. It's midnightarmor.com. It's not the English spelling. It's the proper American spelling of armor. Or you can find us on Facebook at Midnight Armor Inc. Or you can follow us along on Twitter as well if you're into that sort of thing. It's all Midnight Armor as well. It's pretty easy to find us.
All right, listeners, thank you for tuning in, and be sure to follow Jesse on all of the Twitters and Facebooks.
All right, thanks, guys. See ya.